Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished panel members, respected lecturers, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for taking time to watch this presentation. My name is Langgeng Setyono, matrix number 2986248. In this video, I will present my research proposal with the title Digital Leadership and Lecturer Innovation Work Behavior, Unpacking the Mediating Mechanism of Knowledge Sharing and AI Capability in Indonesia Public Higher Education. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to make this presentation easier to follow, I will first explain the structure of the proposal. This presentation is organized into three main parts. The first part explains about the background of the study, including research objective, research question, scope of study, significance of study, contribution lecture, and also the last one is practical contributions. In the second part, we will discuss about the literature review. In the literature review, we also discuss about the theory, conceptual, theoretical framework, and also hypothesis testing. And the third part is explained about the research methodology, including the research philosophy, research design, data collection methods, measurement instrument, and also statistical tools. Well, outlining structure this presentation, let me begin with the background of this study. Innovations have become a strategic need in the era of the artificial intelligence and in digital transformation. Organizations are expected not only to adapt to change, but also create new ideas, improve and strengthen their performance. This is also true for higher education institutions. Universities are not only places in the teaching and learning, they are also centers of knowledge, technology development, and also research and social impact. In this context, lecture play central roles. Lecturers are directly involved in the teaching, research, also community service, and academic development. Therefore, the innovation capacity of higher education is closely related to the innovative behavior lecturers. Distinguished panels, members, and ladies and gentlemen, after understanding why lecture innovation is important, the next slides present the broader context of higher education in Indonesia. The slides show the distribution of higher education institutions across provinces in Indonesia. As shown in the map, higher education institutions spread across many provinces, but the distribution is not equal. Some provinces such as West Java, East Java, Central Java, and also DKI Jakarta have higher numbers of higher education institutions, while other provinces few institutions. These institutions show that Indonesian higher education is large, diverse, and also geographically complex. Because of this complexity, managing digital transformation and also innovation in higher education is not simple. After looking at the institution distribution, it's also important to see lecturer population is the main focus of this study. Next, the slide presents the statistics of lecturers in Indonesia. The data show that Indonesia has more than 303,000 lecturers, consisting of male and female lecturers across different academic positions. The lecturers' population include professor, associate professor, lecturers, assistant lecturers, without a formal academic position. This number indicates that lecturers are very important human resource in Indonesian higher education. If university want to improve innovation, lecturers need to be supported by effective leadership, digital readiness, knowledge sharing, practice, and technology capability. From this point, we can move the main issue related to lecturers' innovation. Well, there are three main issues highlighted in this study. First is management complexity and skills. The large number of lecturers create challenging management human resource, improving lecturer quality and supporting academic performance. Second, there is imbalanced academic hierarchy. Many lecturers are still concentrated in early and middle academic ranks, while the numbers of the professor remains limited. And the third is the issue about the global competitiveness and innovation. Indonesia's higher education still needs to strengthen its research output, innovation performance, and international competitiveness. This issue shows that lecturer innovation is not only individual matter, it is also connected to leadership, institutional support, collaboration, and digital transformation. Well, Distinguished panel member, based on this issue, the next slide we'll discuss about the problem statement of this study. The main problem addressed in this study is that although digital transformation in education is growing rapidly, the understanding of how digital leadership improve lecture innovation work behavior is still limited. There are four main gaps in this research. The first gap is the evidence gap. Previous studies have shown that inconsistent finding. Some studies found that the digital leadership directly influenced innovation, while the others found that a relationship worked indirectly through the mediating variable. The second gap is population gap. Many studies have a focus on the business organization and private sector context. However, public university, especially Indonesians, autonomous public university are still underexplored. The third is the conceptual gaps. Digital leadership is still a defined measure different across studies. There's great ambiguity in understanding what digital leadership actually means in the context of higher education. And the last gap is theoretical gaps. Previous studies are often dominated by the resource-based view, while the dynamic capability perspective is still less applied, particularly in the lecturer level. Next, we discuss about the research objective. There are 7 research objectives. First is to examine the effective digital leadership on lecture innovative work behavior. Second, to analyze the influence of digital leadership on knowledge sharing. The third is investigate the effect of digital leadership on AI capability. Fourth, to assess the impact of knowledge sharing on lecture innovative work behavior. Fifth, to evaluate the influence of AI capability on the lecturer innovative work behavior. Sixth, to examine the mediating rules of knowledge sharing in the relationship between digital leadership and lecturer innovative work behavior. And the last one is to examine the mediating rules of AI capability in the relationship between digital leadership and lecturer innovative work behavior. This is scope of this study. The scope of this study can explain through 5 aspects: what, where, who, why, and how. The first study examined the relationship among digital leadership, knowledge sharing, AI capability, and lecturer innovative performance. Second, the study conducted in Indonesian public higher education or autonomous status. These universities are relevant because they have greater managerial autonomy and stronger demands for innovation. The third, unit of analysis individual lecturers. This is because the study focused on lecturers' perceptions, capabilities, and innovative behavior. Fourth, the study is driven by several gaps, including inconsistent finding, limited focus on public higher education, conceptual ambiguity in digital leadership, and the limited use of dynamic theoretical perspective. Finally, the study used a quantitative approach through an online survey, and the data will be analyzed using SAM or PLSAM. Now that the scope have been explained, the next part discusses why study is significant. There's 2 contributions of this study. First, contribution to literature, and the second, practical contribution. For contribution literature, first is building an integrated model linking digital leadership, knowledge sharing, AI capability, and lecture innovative performance. Second, clarify digital leadership through a more systematic operationalization. Then extended innovation research beyond RBV by adding dynamic capabilities perspective. And the fourth is focus on the unit of analysis, addressing an underexplored individual level in higher education. How about the practical contribution? There are also 4 points in the practical contribution. First, provide insight for university leaders, policymakers, and also stakeholders. Second, show the importance of the digital leadership in the supporting lecture innovation. Third, highlight knowledge sharing to strengthen collaboration and AI capability to improve digital leadership. And the last one is support the development policies training and digital initiative to enhance innovations outcome. Distinguished panel members and ladies and gentlemen, after having discussed the background, significance, and contribution of study, now I will move to the literature review. The main outcome variable in the study is innovative work behavior, or we call IWB. Innovative work behavior refers to individual behavior in generating introduction, implementing new ideas that are useful for work groups or organizations. In this context of the lecturers, innovative work behavior may appear in many forms, such as developing new teaching methods, using digital learning tools, creating research ideas, improving academic service, or applying new approaches in the community service. Based on this literature, innovative work behavior consists of four dimensions. They are idea explorations, idea generation, idea championing, and the last one is idea implementation. Innovation not only about having ideas, it also involves promoting those ideas, turning them into real action. To understand how this topic has developed, the next slide research trend of innovative work behavior. This is the trend of innovative work behavior. This slide shows the publication trend research context that to relate innovative work behavior. This publication trend indicates that innovative work behavior have received increasing attention in this recent year, especially during the period of digital transformation. However, this research context still dominated by IT, software, high-tech telecommunication, digital, and transformation-oriented organization. The education and higher education context still relatively limited. They support the argument that studying innovative work behavior among lecturers is important and still underexplored. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after seeing the research context, the next slide shows the theories and methods commonly used in the previous study. This slide presents two important patterns from the previous studies. The first several theories have been used to explain innovative work behavior, such as social exchange theory, resource-based view, social cognitive theory, dynamic capabilities theories, and also knowledge-based view. Second most previous study used the quantitative survey method with a SAM, PLSM, or CBSAM. Those indicate that quantitative approach is appropriate for the research area. However, the study attempts to add value by combining social cognitive theory and dynamic capability to explain lecturer innovation in the context of digital transformation. Next, I will explain these theoretical foundations more clearly. The study used two main theoretical foundations. The first theory called a social cognitive theory, or what we call SCT, developed by Bandura. This theory explains that human behavior is shaped by interaction between cognitive factor, environmental factor, and a personal factor. The study digital research can be understood as an environment factor that supports lecturer behavior. It can influence how lecturers share knowledge, develop AI capability, and perform innovative work behavior. The second theory we use in the research is a dynamic capability. This theory explains the ability to create, extend, modify resources to adapt to a changing environment. In this study, knowledge sharing and AI can be seen important capabilities that help lecturers and understanding respond to digital transformation. After explaining the theoretical foundation, I will define the main variable used in this study. In this study, we have four variables. The first variable is digital leadership. Digital leadership refers to leadership attitude, competencies, behavior related to use of digital tools, including a digital leadership skill that support digital transformation in academic institutional activities. The second variable is innovative work behavior. Lecturers' behavior is exploring, generating, championing, and implementing new ideas to improve teaching, research, community service, and institutional process in higher education. The third variable is knowledge sharing. Knowledge sharing refers to lecturer willingness and behavior in exchanging knowledge, information, experience, and expertise with the colleges to support academic institutional activities. And the last variable, or fourth variable, is AI capability. AI capability refers to lecturers' ability to understand, use, and apply artificial intelligence to support academic activities, such as teaching, research, administration, and also innovation. These variables are not studied separately. They are connected to one theoretical framework, which shown in the next slide. The slide presents the theoretical framework of this study. Digital leadership is positioned as the independent variable, while lecturer innovative work behavior is the dependent variable. knowledge sharing and AI capability are proposed as a mediating variables. This framework suggests that digital literacy may directly influence a lecturer's innovative work behavior. At the same time, digital leadership also encourages knowledge sharing and improve AI capability, which then contribute to innovative work behavior. Therefore, this model explains both the direct and indirect of a digital leadership. And this slide also supported by supporting a previous study for the hypothesis 1 up to hypothesis 7. Next, we're going to explain about the research methods. The research method in this study consists of several main components. The first is research philosophy, explain the basic assumption of the study. Second, research design, explain how a study is structured. The third is data collection method, how data will obtain from the respondent. Fourth is a measurement section, explain instrument used to measure each variable. And the last one is statistic tools. I will begin with the research philosophy. The study adopts the positive research philosophy. Positivism is appropriate in this research because the study aims to test the relationship among variables using objective measurement and statistical analysis. The study assumed that a relationship between digital leadership, knowledge sharing, AI capability, innovative behavior can be measured through the structured instrument. Therefore, the study uses a quantitative approach, numerical data, and hypothesis testing. Ladies and gentlemen, after explaining the philosophical opposition, I will move to research design. Research design of this study is quantitative, explanatory, and cross-sectional. It's quantitative because the study uses numerical data collected through the questionnaire. It is explanatory because the study aims to explain the relationship among the variables. And then cross-sectional because the data will be collected at one point in the times. The population in the study, a lecturer working in the Indonesian State University with the legal entry status, or PTNBH universities. The unit of analysis is individual lecturer because the study focuses on the lecturer perceptions, capability, and innovative behavior. To make this research design more specific, the next slide explains the respondents and sample of the study. Respondents in study are selected purposely based on the several criteria. They must be active lecturers of PTNBH University, have an official lecturer identification numbers, performed of the Tridharma higher education, and have experiencing using digital technology in academic activities. For the sample size, the minimum sample based on G-power is 119 respondents. However, the study target around 1,600 invited respondents in the audit to obtain at least 400 usable responses. The larger target is expected to provide the data for PLSM analysis. After identifying the respondent and sample, the next step is explaining the data collection method. The data will be collected using structured online questionnaires. The questionnaire will be distributed through a Google Form using academic networks such as email or other online channel. A 5-point Likert scale will be used, ranging the form the strongly disagree or strongly agree. The scale allows respondents to express their level of agreement with the age statement. The online survey method is suitable because the respondents are lecturers from the different university and different provinces in Indonesia. After collecting the data, the next important part is ensuring that each variable measures using appropriate instrument. Now, we discuss about the instrument in this research. The study uses established measurement instrument from the previous research. Digital leadership measure using the item adapted from the previous study on digital leadership. Innovative work behavior measure using dimensions such as idea exploration, idea generation, idea championing, idea implementation from De Jong and the Hartog 2010. For knowledge sharing, the measurement using knowledge sharing behavior with the number of items is 6 based on the Lut et al. In 20. The last instrument for AI capability, we use human AI capability with the number of items 7. It's adapted from Mikalev et al. In 2019. So the numbers of the item in this research is 29 items that will ask to the respondents. Distinguished panel members, once the measurement instruments are determined, the next step is choosing appropriate statistical tools. The study used two types of statistical tools for analysis. First is descriptive statistic, and the second is inferential statistic. Descriptive statistics are used to summarize, profile a respondent, and describe the general characteristic of the data. This may include a gender, age, academic rank, work experience, digital technology experience, and also AI experience. The main output is a respondent profile. The second is inferential statistics are used to test hypotheses and examine the relationship among the variables. The main statistical tool used in the study is PLSM, which support smart PLS software. PLSM is appropriate because the study examines several latent variables and thus put a direct and mediating relationship. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next we will discuss about the PLSM in this study. PLSM analysis consists two main stages. First stage is measurement model assessment, and the second stage is structural model assessment. The measurement model or outer model is used to evaluate whether the indicators are valid and reliable. This includes tests such as indicator loading, composite reliability, average variance extracted, and discriminant validity. There are a rule of thumb for the study. PLSM analysis consists of two main stages, the measurement model assessment and the structural model assessment. Model is used to evaluate whether the indicators are valid and reliable. Includes tests such as indicator loading, composite reliability, average variance extracted, or AVE, and the discriminant validity. The second is structural model or inner model. It's used to test the relationship among variables. This includes path coefficients, effect size, predictive relevance, and path of a coefficient. Through these two stages, the study will be able to examine whether digital leadership influence lecturer innovative work behavior directly, and whether knowledge sharing and AI capability mediate this relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, after explaining the method of analysis, allow me to close this presentation. That digital leadership can strengthen lecturer innovative work behavior through two key mechanisms. They are knowledge sharing and AI capability. By examining this relationship in Indonesia Autonomous Public University, the research aimed to address several important gaps in the previous studies, including empirical gap, populations gap, conceptual gaps, and theoretical gaps. Extensive understanding of how digital leadership drive innovations in higher education, especially to collaboration and AI readiness. From the practical perspective, the study is expected to offer evidence-based insight for university leaders, policymakers. This insight can help them design strategies to enhance knowledge sharing, build AI capability, and foster stronger culture and innovations among the lecturers. Advancement of digital leadership, literature, and support Indonesian higher education institution achieving sustainable performance and competence. Very much for watching and for kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.